You know, in 1913, they traded to the income tax system. We used to be all tariff, and we had no income tax, and we had the wealthiest country we've ever had proportionately. From about 1870 to 1913, it was all tariffs, and we had more money than anybody. They had committees how to spend the money. They had so much money they didn't know how to spend. Then some brilliant person said, let's go income tax. Let's let the people pay. Now, we're going to be able to substantially lower taxes when this is finished.
Obviously, our friend right there is talking about the tariffs that are coming in. It's actually quite an interesting idea. Increase the tariffs by some crazy numbers, get rid of, or at least get rid of a bunch of income taxes. Anyway, over the next few hours, President Trump will speak at around 5 p.m. Eastern time to be exact, likely regarding these recent tariff developments. And really, when you start taking a look at what's happened over the past few days, or just over the past 24 hours, take a look. Trump says tariffs on China won't be as high as 145% and will come down substantially. 𝗵𝘂 says de-escalation with China is coming. The Wall Street Journal reports that tariffs on China are set to drop to 50 or 65% or so. Then we've got 𝗵𝘂 saying America first does not mean America alone. 𝗵𝘂 declines to comment on the Wall Street Journal's report in point 3, which are basically regarding China's new rate drops. And 𝗵𝘂 clarifies that Trump is not offering a unilateral decrease in tariffs on China. And 𝗵𝘂 says the US-China trade deal will actually take 2 or 3 years to get to some sort of conclusion. The market's roller coaster ride continues. Because for all of you that did not realize it, the S&P went up roughly 70 points in a day. But actually an hour before that, the index was up over 180 points. No position is safe in this market because this is just like it's just like crypto, really. When you start taking a look at the stock market right now, it is just as crazy as crypto, if not crazier, because of everything happening with these tariffs. And so it's often, or I guess it's funny, they always call meme coins a risky thing, right? But then we've got freaking indices that have stood strong for decades now moving like meme coins. We've had a lot of news out today though. For example, the fact that the Bitcoin ETFs bought nearly $1 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday. The fact that Sol Strategies announced a $500 million convertible note facility to buy more Solana. And something I thought was quite interesting was that apparently Trump just announced that the top 220 of his tokens holders will be able to register for a Trump dinner with the president. This basically means if you bought his token and you're one of the top 220 people, you might be able to go to one of his dinners. Interesting, just interesting. I don't know what else to put there. Just interesting. Why? What? But I guess he's not letting it die because the coin did go up by some huge margins quickly afterwards. Now, before I move on, just yesterday, I announced that I was going to be doing a crypto giveaway. Actually, for me, it's yesterday. For you guys, it might still be today. I'll be picking them most likely in my next video or one video after that. Meaning, I think 2 videos ago or so, I announced a giveaway for that video. It's going to sound a bit confusing. I also had a mystery little thing at the end to get you guys on how to, guide you guys on how to claim your giveaway. Depending on the amount of likes we get to today, I'll have to change the amount of money we're giving away. But it's at least a few $100s. So I'm actually quite excited for it because I know it's going to make some people very, very happy. And if you've not entered yet, you've got a few hours to do so. And of course, make sure you press that like button because why not? If you want a little update on the bots, they're still doing beautifully. Obviously, the journey is going to be up and down and up and down. And I actually also wanted to add another Ethereum bot to our journey and a Solana bot, but I was thinking, man, we're at a pretty high price, right? It's a pretty high price to get a bot started because some people might get wrecked. Who does that on a day where my bots are up 20% or so, right? I was thinking, you know what? I should do it in a more neutral situation so we can decide a better price range. Because obviously, guys, with my bots, and I'll just talk about it very, very briefly, it's not about up only. We want volatility. We want ranging. The price going up and then back down and up and down. That's where you make the most of the money. But buying after a massive pump in every single coin, I don't know. But I'll probably just still set it up somewhere tomorrow. Right now, I just want to get this video out there, though, because Trump has been going crazy. And since you'll be having this conversation at 5 p.m. Eastern time, the reason I want to get this out right now, is because it's officially in 1 hour, the 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I think the market could make some massive move because of it. We don't know if it's going to be up or down, but there might be some massive volatility surrounding it. So I want you guys all to be ready, prepared, and just watching this event. Now, if you want to trade crypto or just follow along with my bots, I've got a couple links down below. One to Payonix, as you guys know, it's the platform where I'm trading with bots right now. If you want to copy my bots, all the links are down below. But also, if you just want to trade crypto normally, there's a few different links down below you could use, like Blowfin or 𝗬𝗂X, for example. They will not ask questions about where you're from. Just 𝗬𝗂X you can use from anywhere in the world, for example. But if you want more info on that, just go back to one of my videos here. My exact plan to make millions with XRP in the next months. Just check back on that video if you want to know how to set up the bots, etc. Here's Trump's meme coin, by the way. Trump's meme coin Trump surged as much as 65% after he announced that the top 220 holders will get a dinner with him, or at least some of those will get a dinner with him. I will reiterate also, though, that the next major impulses we're waiting for really are either confirmations of breakout, which for XRP, we've got a little bit of time, let's see how this is going to go. We've got a little bit of time here. We've got, I think, 4 hours left until the deciding factor, but we're waiting for the confirmation of the breakout. We're basically hoping that it will close above the opening at $2.21 for XRP. For Bitcoin, it's a bit easier. All we're hoping for as well is just a close above the open, just another green candle. Preferably above 95,000, but I don't think we're going to make that over the next few hours. I guess depending on what Trump's going to say just now. But also, I'll remind you that, well, as of this point, the major impulse for Bitcoin is still yet to happen. I still think about October or so of this year as well, we'll see the all-time high. And in the meantime, what we're basically waiting for is either an M2 growth spike to cause a next big wave, or perhaps another pump in gold like we just saw, because every single time gold pumps, Bitcoin pumps afterwards. And to prove a point with that, even if the S&P goes for a crazy drop, a crazy depression, gold surges. And again, what happens after that? Usually Bitcoin goes crazy. I talked about it over the last few days, and just now take a look, right? Gold has been falling rapidly, and what has been happening to Bitcoin? It's been pumping rapidly. It's because of the change in tides. People are changing their golds to Bitcoin. But we generally speaking want gold to trend higher, because whatever gold is at in terms of market cap, it kind of marks the ceiling for where these reserve currencies can go, where this wealth preservation type of asset class is worth. Anyway, here's, by the way, a better graph of showing M2 versus Bitcoin, and it showed just some crazy pump that is bound to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready for it. And also, there's one little story y'all need to hear about patience. What a sad story. This guy dumped all of his 600,000 Trump, about $5.5 million, just before the Trump dinner news. If he had been slightly more patient, because this happened just like about 24 hours ago, his profit would have been $4.5 million. All right, he still did well. All right, apparently he still sold all his coins at $8.7 for a $480K profit, but it could have been 4 or 5 million if he just waited one more day. Sucks to be him, but then again, I guess it doesn't suck to be him because it's still up $500,000. Definitely not too bad, but still don't think you're gonna have a good night's sleep at that point. Selling one day before that happens. No. Anyway, apparently, I didn't know this, Bitcoin also just surpassed Google, becoming the 5th largest asset in the world by market cap. It's kind of interesting to me that this is, I guess, happening because many stocks have fallen and Bitcoin at the same time has stayed relatively stable. Or was Bitcoin at like at a higher spot before? I mean, Bitcoin, I'm just thinking relatively. Was NVIDIA, obviously was #1 before. Were all these so much higher? Have they all basically fallen since Bitcoin was at 109K? Or what was the highest that Bitcoin went to? Doesn't really matter too much. I'm not going to look it up. I want to continue to be ignorant. And last but not least, man, things are still quite cheap. When you really start breaking it down and thinking about it, yes, they still are, my friend. Yes, they very much still are. Anyway, I want to get this video out there as soon as possible because Trump is speaking in about an hour or so, about 50 minutes from now. Maybe by the time I upload it, you only have 30 minutes left. I want to get this out as soon as possible so you guys can maybe react, maybe trade something, maybe do something crazy. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you press that like button. I know it's a bit short, but I have to get it out as soon as possible. That's about it.